A top think tank warns fair pay agreements could backfire. The first quarter GDP figures released last week surprised many economists. The UK is growing at the quickest rate for 2 years, and quicker than its European competitors in the G7. Ministers are making noises about the economy turning a corner. But when you look under the hood, the recovery is a fragile one. And many people across the country will not be feeling particularly better off this quarter. GDP per capita remains down from a year ago, which means a proportion of that growth since then has come from inflation and an increase in the population. Per capita growth is the metric we need to concern ourselves with if we are interested in people's living standards. And if we want people's wages and purchasing power to increase in real terms, then this must come from doing and making things that people want more productively. Labour currently takes a different view. Their New Deal for working people, as my policy exchange colleague Ian Mansfield has argued in his latest report, is effectively a plan to boost people's wages without any corresponding attempt to make our workforce more productive. At its core is a proposal to introduce fair pay agreements for workers in all sectors of the economy, starting with adult social care. These would constitute binding contracts between employers and workers on a range of labor relation issues, including sectoral minimum wages. Such a strategy for the labor market is inspired by the approach to the economy set out by Rachel Reeves in her May's lecture. Securonomics, she said, contends that a larger, more active state should intervene in markets and industry to underwrite the security of workers. It suggests that the way to deal with the combination of stagnant real wages and cost of living inflation is for the state to step in and push up wages by fiat. We all want to increase the resilience and robustness of households across the country. And there may also be a good case for reducing earnings inequality, and the inequality between earned income and capital gains. Ensuring strong incentives for work and industry will be essential in meeting both these imperatives. But we must get out of the immensely damaging habit of judge policies by their intentions, rather than their outcomes. Good intentions alone will not be enough if we are to build a more prosperous Britain. And bitter experience in this country and elsewhere tells us that simply legislating for higher wages without a corresponding increase in output will be inflationary. The effects of state-mandated pay rises would show up in the UK's fiscal position too. The Labour leadership has suggested its labour market reforms would begin first in adult social care. Policy Exchange estimates that if this increased cost was to be met through local taxation, it would require a 10.9% increase in council tax revenues. For the average Band D council taxpayer, that translates to an increase of £225 per year. And perhaps most damningly of all, the international evidence makes clear that sectoral pay bargaining is to a great extent ineffectual in actually driving up wages compared to firm-level collective bargaining. Put simply, Labour's proposals for work and pay are not only the most potentially damaging component in Labour's plan for the economy, but would signally fail in their stated objective.